Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to study about Java. So will be one short video on Java. So this is not any sponsored video and I am creating it for learning purpose only. So the best site I feel is W3Schools as for beginners. It is very easy to understand what does this whole things and the syntax and everything in Java is. So let's proceed with this. So first of all, we'll go to Java intro. What is basically Java? So Java is just a language for programming like the other languages, but it has many advantages. Um, so let's see. Java is a very popular and powerful programming language and it was created in 1995. Initially, it was owned by Oracle, and more than 3 billion devices run Java today. So, where it is being used, first of all, everyone knows that Java is basically used in industries. Many companies are using Java for their code programming in either its front end, back end, or whole of their application. They are using Java. In mobile applications, some of like Android apps are there which use Java as their language, some desktop application, web applications, web servers, games, database connections, and many more things where Java is being used. So why we are using Java? Why do we need Java? So Java basic or one of the best advantage I would say it is that it works on different platforms, whether it's your Android, it's your Windows, it's your Mac, or whichever operating system you have, Linux, or whatever system platform you have, it works for all of those. Okay. And it is being the most popular programming language in the world. Also, the demand of Java is increasing day by day in the job market, and it is easy to learn and simple to use. It is open source and free. This open source means that the code is available for all of us. We can use it and we need not to pay anything if we want to use Java. If you want to run any of the program written in Java in your local, then you just need to install one JDK and you can run any of the Java program. And also it is very secure because it has some of the features which makes it secure, fast and powerful. We'll see like why it is secure because everything abstraction and encapsulation concept will see. And it has huge community support, tens of millions of developers. Like this is even less, I'll say. Even more than this number is using Java nowadays. And Java is also object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming language means it treats every entity as an object, and we'll see later what all things comes under Java, like OOPS concept, encapsulation, inheritance, and everything we'll see later. And it is very close to C++ and C hash. And for if I talk about college students, in their curriculum, most of the time what happens is first they go through C++ as their first programming language, like C. After that, they goes to Java. So some of the basic concepts are already cleared by C++, and they can clearly differentiate between C++ and Java, that Java is more powerful than C++, because in C++ there are a concept of, I would say, some concepts like pointers by which we can directly access the memory, which is not so in Java. And there are many more advantages as it has the concept of OOPS and it is more secure. So it is the basic example that everything inside when you are coding in Java, you have to write it in a class. So we'll use public main, class main. I'll tell what this public mean. This is a modifier, what this mean. Everything will do in detail. And then a main class is there. Public static void main is used. And for example, if we'll try to run this program, this will print the system.out.println you are seeing. It is used to print the output on the console, and this string is the data type, and this is the name variable name you have given. This can be anything like name, last name, first name, on anything. And this is the main class which we are running. So we'll see everything. You'll just get a overview, like how a Java program basically is. So we'll go step by step. So this example I have already shown you, and to install Java, I already told you we should not go in depth about Java installation. So we'll directly jump to the Java syntax. Java syntax, in previous example, you have already seen that we were writing the code inside the main class, this public class main, and we use that class and we called our system.out.println and we printed this hello world. So this was the syntax. So every line of the code that runs in Java must be inside a class. The class name should always start with an uppercase first letter. In our example, it started with capital M, class name. This class main, you can write anything instead of main. You can write public class, your name, or any class name, first class, second class, whatever name you want. But you have to keep in mind that the first letter should be caps. See, like my class, if you write this and this, if it starts with capital M or small m, these are both different things because Java is a case sensitive language. Here, there is a difference between capital M and small m also. So, the name of the Java file must match the class file. So, your class name main.java is there, you can see here, and here this is the same as your class name. If you are using the saving the file with my class.java, then you have to keep the class name as my class. So keep in mind that the name of the Java file must be matching with the class name. So if your class is called main, the file will be saved as main.java. This is because Java uses the class name to find and run the code. If names won't match, Java will give you an error and program will not run. Okay, so when saving the file, save it using the class name and add .java. .java is the extension for the Java files. It is always written in the end of the file name. So the main method, this public static void main and string args we are writing. The main method, it is required in every Java program. Without this, your Java program will not run. It won't start running. Any code which will be placed inside this main will get executed. Without this line, you cannot run any of the Java program and you cannot write it. And what is this public static void? We'll see later on, but public is a modifier and we'll see later on. And this system.out.println. So println is a function which is used to print the whatever things you'll give inside the braces, it will print that on console. And we'll see these curly braces we are using after the class name, it denotes that everything you will be writing inside this opening brace and the closing brace, everything inside this will get execute. It denotes the beginning and the end of the block of code. And system.out.println may look long, but you can think of it as send this text to my screen or my console. System.out.println we are writing. So println is a method which is short for print line. And this, what is the system and out? System is built in Java class. We already have some classes in Java, some already existing packages, which makes Java very friendly for us because we need not to hard code everything, write everything. We can directly import those classes and we can use them. We can import those packages and we can use directly use them. So similarly, this system is a Java built-in class and out is a member of that system class. Out is basically for output. And always the statement will end with a semicolon in Java. If you forget to add this semicolon, then also compilation error will come. So you can see these exercise later on. These are for your benefits. That's why I feel this site is very helpful for learning. I have not prepared any PPT for it because I feels like anyway I have to copy paste content from here. So no point in that. And you can easily access this website. And this is not any sponsored video at all. And now the Java statements. Statements, any computer program will consist of list of instructions to be executed by the computer. And this list of instruction, these programming instructions are called statements. The statement instructs the compiler to print text like Java is fun on screen. If we instruct the if we'll write in our code system.out.println and inside braces whatever things we'll write, these are all programming instructions, or we can call them as statements. And it is important to end it with a semicolon. I already told, if you will forget this, program will not run and it will give you some error like error this semicolon expected. And if you want to write multiple statements, you can write it this way: println system.out.println, and inside that you can write, and in the same order it will get printed. Now, for example, these three are statement. You want to print this, then second this, and last this. So how can you do this? This way, you can directly use this. For example, I can show you this. If we'll copy this, I am using this online compiler. You can use any. You can to look it better, we can run it this way. If we'll run this program, you can see hello world, have a good day. Everything comes in next line. But what if you want that uh, things to, like, you want hello world then have a good day in same line, so use print instead of println. And then you want learning Java is fun also with them, so you can use print instead of println. It will print everything in one line. Now we'll go to Java output. This is very basic, and now see, plain text. Println we were using to output, you already know. Now these double quotes. Every time you will write something inside system.out.println, you have to use double quotes. If you forgot to use double quotes, then the error will come because it won't be able to understand. These are some basic predefined, I'll say predefined things which you have to keep in your mind while creating any of the things, that double quote should be there, then only inside that you have to write all these things. Okay. Print method, I already told you, if you want to print it on same line. But what you observed here is after hello world, there is no space, but you wanted some space, then this have should start. So what you can do, you can give one space here, or if you want to write something here like hi, then you want two spaces, then you want have a good day. See, you can easily print it this way. Now after day also you want one space, so give one space here, it will appear. Like whatever things you want to do, you can try it here. Now we'll go to print numbers. Println we have already seen. If you want to print numbers, then we need not to use double quotes. Numbers we can directly print. But if you are giving some sentences, some string values, some English sentences, then you need to remember that you will give that in double quotes only. Like if you want to print, if I'll write system dot out dot println 5 or 3, whatever you say, and you want it, see, it will come. See, you can even perform some operations, like if you want 3 plus 3, you want value as 6. Now it's 6. But what if you will, sorry, what if you will use uh, uh, this double quotes with 3 plus 3? Then it will treat it as a string and it will print 3 plus 3 instead of 6. See, 3 plus 3. But what you wanted to uh, add these values and print the result. That is possible only if you want to use double quotes. What if you want this? And so we'll see later. I'll show you some more things later. So here you can see, you can do multiple operations like addition, multiplication, division, and whatever things you want. And what if you want to add some comments like here for your understanding, if a programmers come, first code you are writing, this is a comment. Comment basically means this line of code will not get executed and printed on your console. See, the output is same as previous because this is just a comment for your understanding. So here we can see number um, testing, you can say this will not get printed on console. It is only for your understanding. Now, comments are also of two types, single line and multi-line comments. Comments can be used to explain Java code and make it more readable. It can also be used to prevent execution when testing alternative codes. Okay, single line comment I already showed you that it will start with two forward slashes and anything you'll write after this double quotes until the end of the line, it will be ignored by the Java and it will not be executed. And this is the example of single line comment. Like you can write here also, like comment, it will not get printed. And anything after this you are writing will not be executed by the compiler. See, output is same. Now we'll see multi-line comments. What if you want to write something which is going out of this area? Like you have these strings, you want to write something, then you can use this forward slash, the multi-line comment, then you can close it similarly. So this is your multi-line comment. You can move it to different lines and it won't have any impact on the output. See, you will have to use these things and any text between this will be ignored by the Java. Okay, so we have seen this single line and multi-line. So drag and drop the correct syntax for single line comment. You know single line comment starts with double this, so this will be the answer. You can perform these later on. Now variables. Variables are, you can say, these are containers which are used to store data values. And there are different types of variables. Variables can be any, like string variable. I showed you now that hello world first program which we saw. There was string name. What was, so what was that string? That string was, sorry, that string was the data type which was used to store the text such as hello. String values are surrounded by double quotes and int stores number. Int is for integer, whole numbers, and remember it is without decimal. Like it can be positive or negative, but it would be without decimal. For decimal values, you will use float, that is for floating point number, or you can use double. Okay, and character is used to store A to Z any character, and it will be surrounded by single quotes. And boolean is for true or false, and string is for collection of characters. Okay, now how will you declare or create these variables? First you have to choose which data type you are using, then what is the name of your variable you are using, a b c, age, name, whatever, and then you have to assign a value to it using equal to operator. For example, type will use string, variable name will be first name, equals to value will be like Jyoti, and then you have to end it with semicolon. So for example, here they have given an example, string name equals to John and system.out.println this name. So it will print what? It will print John as a name. I can show you, for example, like string name equals to double quotes Jyoti semicolon and system dot out dot println name. So here you need not to use double quotes because directly your value Jyoti will get assigned here because you are using this variable. See, Jyoti got printed on console. But what if you will use the double quotes? If you will use this double quotes, I'll show you another line. If I will use double quotes, then it will be considered as a string and name will get print on it, the screen. See. And you want like to print my name is you want to print like this, and after that you want Jyoti should come, so remove this ln and see the magic. My name is Jyoti. Here the space is coming because we have given space here. Can reduce the space and rerun this program and check the output, and you can play around this. So if you will assign some number in my num, 15 will get print on screen. Or you can do the declaration separately, assigning separately, and printing separately. For example, if I'll take the example as int number, this is declaration. Okay. Now assigning you want num equals to 5. This is assigning the value, and if you want to print it, system dot out dot println, and you'll write num. So this is what this is assignment. Oh, sorry, printing the value. Assignment is this assigning the value. So you can see the number will get printed here. 5 will come. So you can separately declare it. Here also you can declare separately like this string name equals to Jyoti and system dot out dot this. See. Then also the output will be same because here you are declaring, then assigning, then you are printing. Okay. Now see, what if you want to change the value of 15 to 20? So what will you do? Like int num your I'll take another example like int a equals to 10. Now you want its value to get updated to a equals to 15. Then you will assign it 15, and if you will write system dot out dot println, so what do you think? What should be the value of a? 10 or 15? Obviously it would be 15 because when the compiler is compiling, it will see that a was 10, then it got updated to 15. So later you are printing now after updating. So it will be 15. But if you print after this and if you use this, then first it will print the value of a as 10. After it will print 15. See here. You can play around them. Now final. Like if you don't want that whatever value you have written, like you want that this number you have assigned this like say 10, no one should be able to change it to 15. You want it to be like 10 only, so you'll use final keyword in front of that declaration. You it will be like no one can change this value and it will be considered as constant and it will be read only. Okay, you can try it later on yourself. These are different data types. Int float means decimal values and you append it with f in the end. Character boolean string, you can all try this. Now if you want to print the values, so you will have to use println function to print the values, and I have shown you this now. What if you don't want to use these two lines separately? So this can be done in single line also. See, system dot out dot println double quotes my name is. So here you'll use this concatenation operator. This plus one is concatenation we say. Now you will see the output will be same. Here you can see the output is same. Now you can use plus character to add a value to another value. If double quotes won't be there and numbers we will be using, then it will add those things like this 3 plus 3. You can use any operations here. The plus symbol has two meanings: concatenation for the strings and for numbers to add the values together. Okay, so it has multiple operations. Here I already have shown you all these things, so I am showing you these things so you can see what all topics are there and you are not missing anything. So declaration and all. If there are more than one variable with the same type and you want a comma separated value, like instead of writing again and again int x, int y, int z, what you can do is I'll show you. Like um, int p, comma q, comma r. Everything is of int type. Value will be 1, comma 2, comma 3, and you want to add them. So system dot out dot println will be P plus Q plus R. You can see what should be the result. Tell me. Triversal 6 should be the result. But there is one error because these values, which, why is this error coming? Unidentified. Oh, sorry. See, we have to write. How can I assign like this? You should see, na. P should be equal to 1, then comma, Q should be equal to 2 and R should be equal to 3. See, okay. So you can try all these things. Once you'll try, then only you'll get to know what all mistakes you are doing and all. And it's good to do the mistakes. So you'll learn. Now, if one value is for multiple variables like X, Y, Z all have same value. So what you can do is like declaring int x comma y comma z, then giving them value x equals to y equals to z equals to same, then you can print and result will be 150. Now Java identifiers. All Java variables must be identified with unique names. For example, we were giving first name or what are these? These are unique. Num is unique name. A is unique name. P, Q are unique name. But prefer to give some name that is easily understandable. Like if I have given something A, I can give it a better name as num or num1. You can give any name, okay, but prefer to give some meaningful name. And these are all identifiers. These are unique names. Identifiers can be short like A, B, C, X, Y, or descriptive like I showed you num, age, sum, total value. And it is always recommended to use descriptive names in order to create understandable and maintainable code. Like m equals to 60, you won't understand what m mean. But if you'll write int minutes per hour equals to 60, it is good practice because everyone is able to clearly understand it. So there are some rules for identifiers. Like you can't keep anything like using any of the special character or anything. There are some rules and regulation that your name should contain letters, digit, underscore, and dollar sign. Except dollar and underscore sign, you cannot use any of the special character like at the rate, hash, and anything you can't use. And always your number must begin with the letter, not with any of the digit. And it should start with lowercase letter and cannot contain white spaces. Means there should not be any spaces between the characters, and it can begin with either the lowercase letter or the dollar symbol or the underscore symbol. And names are case sensitive. Like if you write this, I already told you, capital M and small m and everything is considered as different because it's a case sensitive language. So my v capital variable and my v small variable are two different variables. And reserved words you can't use as the identifiers. Like You can't keep a name int because int is already defined in Java as a keyword, or so you cannot use it in naming something. So you can't use them as identifier. So let's see some invalid identifiers. Why this is invalid? Because it is starting with the digit 2 and we already so that it can start with the digit. My where there is a space, so it should not have any space. Int because it is a reserved keyword, so these are invalid identifiers. Java constants final. The constants final keyword. When you do not want variable value to change, then you use this final keyword like I have shown you here. I have not shown you, so I'll show. See, if you want this final int my value equals to 50. Your value is this, and if you will print this value, system dot out dot println my value. So if you will print this, what you see is it will print 50. Here it has printed. Now in future, if my value is trying to get changed, it will show me error. See, my value 100 cannot assign a value to a final variable. So no one can change the value if you declare it with final keyword. So you can for now comment it and rerun it. See, now it has given me my value 50. So it is good practice to use final keyword when necessary. If you want your value to be read only and no one should be able to change it, then you use this final keyword. When to use it? When your value should never change. Like minutes per hour is always 60, no one should change it to any other value, so we kept it as final. Now we'll see some real life examples. Here is student name, student ID, student age, student fee, student grade. These are all student data you are printing. Okay, so what you can think is here we simplify variable names to match the data types. We have done this. So this is to avoid confusion. It's a practice, just a data and it will print all these values. To calculate the area, this is length, width, area. You are using this formula and you can print easily. These are some of the basic examples. Now, we already talked about variable declaration. That variable can be of int type, float type, char, boolean string. So what are all these? These are data types. So int is for integer, float is for floating point numbers, and character is for alphabet. Boolean is for either true or false value. String is for collection of alphabets. You can see there are basically data types are divided into two groups, primitive and non-primitive. In primitive, we'll see like byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, char. And in non-primitive, it would be like classes, arrays, strings. We'll see them later. First of all, we'll go through primitive data types. That primitive data type specifies the type of a variable and kind of value it holds. For example, byte will store whole numbers from -128 to 127. Short will also store whole numbers from this to this range. You need not to remember all those things. It is easily understandable with the denotion like long will store large values, int will store the whole numbers. These all are clear by their name. Float and double will store the fractional or decimal point value. If your decimal value is between 6 to 7 decimal, then use float. If it is exceeding 6, 7 and it is storing like 15, 16 decimal, then use double. Boolean is for true, false, and all we have seen. What you can't change, once a variable is declared with its type, you cannot change it to another. For example, here you have declared int a equals to 10. Now you can't do like string a equals to double quote a b c d something. So this will give you error because once you gave any data type, like this variable is already defined in method main, so incompatible type. So this is not allowed because it is already assigned. So you can rerun this. See, now everything will work fine. Here you cannot redeclare it with string. See, minum you can't give like this also. Instead of using string here, if you are writing string, then also it will give error. So numbers, primitive number types are divided into two groups, integer and floating. Integer is basically without decimal points and floating is basically with decimal points, and we include float and double in this, and all else we consider an integer category. Integer like byte, and you can go through them once, like byte store value from which range to which range, and short store values for whole numbers, and we have already seen, so there is nothing much about to go like now. The thing is, if you are declaring some variable like float, how will you identify like this is float? You can append f after this, you can append d after this. D means double, f means float. Okay. Now, Boolean data type is like true or false. So you can use it for the values wherever you want, yes, no, on, off, and true, false. For example, is Java fun was true. Is fish tasty, false. So you can print value. This will give you output. I can show you this. I'll copy paste it. Mhm. If you want to try on, let's do some indentation here. If I'll run this, hmm, it has printed true for is Java fun, and is fish tasty, it has printed false. Now for characters, it will be similar. Like character data type is used to store, like character by its name is clear that character data type is used to store single character, and it must be surrounded by single quotes. So character my grade B, you are printing it, you can give only single character here. You cannot use collection of alphabets here. Okay. And you, if you are familiar with ASCII values, you can use them. ASCII values are something I can show you a sky table reference. This is a sky value. For example, for A, we use 65, I guess. If you want to print uppercase A, you use 65. So this is the table. You need not to remember everything. As soon as you will learn this, you'll get to know, and 97 is for small a. And you can refer this later on if you want some like coding in some way. You want to use these characters to get printed or to use. So you can use a sky table. String I have already shown you. This real life example, you can see you are printing some values. These are basic Java programs. You can try on these programs. Now, non-primitive types. Non-primitive types is something which are also called reference type because they usually refers to some object. And the main difference between primitive and non-primitive is primitive types are already defined by Java, and they are already predefined and built into the language, while non-primitive data types are those which are created by the programmer except for string. Okay. Non-primitive types can be used to call methods to perform certain operations, while primitive types cannot. Okay, non-primitive types can be used for different operations. Like you can, you'll see later on if you are creating some array, then you are like it is just a collection of values of all the scores a person or a students have go like if I'll say take an example, there is a class of 30 students and you created a array to store the values of their children's score in a like maths examination. Then you perform some operations. You can call methods like array dot maximum value to find max to find the maximum value. If you want the length, how many students are there, dot length you can use. We'll see everything in detail. And primitive types start with lowercase, whereas non-primitive typically starts with uppercase. Primitive type can hold a value, whereas non-primitive types can be null. Primitive types is necessary to have some value. If you are using that primitive type like int, string, boolean, it is necessary that you cannot leave it like this. I'll show you. If you are using this like uh, uh, mm, int num equals to 5, if you want assign num, you can't use it. You can't only declare it. There will be error that you are printing it and it is never initialized. So what if I'll comment out this line also? Int num, if you are declaring this, then also you'll get the error because you have not assigned it. Sorry, you have not called it, so it won't show any error. You have only declared it. If you'll try to use it, you have to assign it some value. Now, I think you might got my point. So let's go. We'll try to cover the basics today, I guess, because there are some oops concept. I think I have to create another video, so we'll see. For file handling, I'll definitely create the separate one data structure. So we'll cover it in 2 3 videos. So today our main focus will be to cover this and this Java methods. So in tomorrow's class, we can cover these Java classes. And I think we should give this one dedicated video to these concepts. And errors we can cover today also, but we'll cover it with file handling and exception handling will do together. And this collections, these all things will create separate video. And these are some advanced topics, but we'll go through it. So let's see. It's already 11:58. So let's do PM, not AM. So let's go to Java var keyword. This is introduced in Java 10, which was released in 2018. Var keyword lets the compiler automatically detect the type of the variable on the value you assign to. For example, if you will write var x equals to 5, compiler will itself analyze that it's int value. If you'll use var x equals to double quotes Jyoti, it will automatically realize that this is the string value. And these are the examples of variable that compiler will automatically understand. Where also works when you assign a value. At the same time, you can't declare var x without assigning a value. Like if you have assigned this x, then again you can't do like you can do like this where x equals to 5, but you can't separately declare and separately initialize this. No, because x is now an int, it's still now an int. Now it will give error if you will try to give any other value except int, because once you start giving it well as int value, you have to always give it as int value. And when to use where, when it's clearly, when you have something for simple variables, it is clear to write directly. But if there is something you might get confused and you want some dynamic values to get entered in like similar manner, then you can use var. Now we'll go for typecasting. Typecasting is just converting one data type into another. If you want to convert into double or double to float or something, so there is two type of casting. One is done automatically and one we have to manually do it. So there is concept of widening casting and narrowing casting. Widening casting we need not to do if you are converting a smaller type to a larger type. For example, if you are converting byte to short or short to character or character to int, int to long, long to float, float to double, then you need not to explicitly write anything. Your casting will be done automatically. But what if you want to convert a larger type to a smaller type? then casting is required. That is narrowing casting. Like if you want to convert double value to float or float to long, long to int, into char, char to short, short to byte, then you need to do manual casting. So widening casting is done automatically when passing a smaller size type into a larger size type. Like if you declared float a equals to 9, it will understand that this value is integer and it will print. Because it is a kind of widening casting, you are using a smaller type of value in a larger size type. But what if you want to do its opposite? Then you have to use narrowing casting. Okay. So here, if you are using int, my int equals to 9 and double my double equals to my int, automatically int will get converted to double here, and it will, if you will print my int, it will print 9. If you will try to print my double, it will print 9.0. I can show you this example if you want me to run this. See, I don't know why it got pasted without proper indentation. So let it be. See, if you are printing double, it is printing 9.0. If you are printing mind, it's printing 9. Now, narrowing casting, you have to do manually by using parentheses and round bracket we use. And this is required because narrowing may result in data loss. For example, if you are dropping any decimal values when converting a double to an int, there are chances that you might lost your values. So if you, I'll run it and I'll show you this also. If you have something that is in double and you want to convert it into integer, that narrowing casting you want to do, then what you will use, in which type you want to convert, you will give that in parentheses. For example, from double, if you want to convert it into float, so you will give here float, and here also you'll give float. See what it will print. It is giving two errors. Why it is giving two errors? Variable my double is already defined in main method. Okay, here we have already used now, so we'll comment these. Oh, see. Now this float and double value, will see that this is same because float can take value up to 6 7 decimal. Now if I'll give it some large value, then you can clearly see the difference. 6 values float can take now, so it got converted to float. Double to float we have done. So it's better to give it name as my float instead of my int for your better understanding later on. See, you can remove this, otherwise you will get confused. See, now you might got my point, like what is typecasting. Real life example, you can see that maximum score is this, actual score is this, and if you want to do and apply some formulas for percentage and all, you can use this typecasting. Now operators like plus operator you have used already and seen that it is used for addition and concatenation. See here it is used for addition. So there are different kind of operator: arithmetic, assignment, comparison, logical, and bitwise. Five kinds of operators are there. We'll go through them one by one. So in arithmetic operators, there are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, increment, decrement. Addition is adding the values, subtracting one value from another, multiplication is multiplying them, division is dividing one value by other, and modulus, what it returns divisor reminder. Keep in mind, it's not quotient, it's division reminder which it gives this modulus. Increment is used to increase the value of a variable by 1, and minus decrement is used to decrease the value by 1. I can show you this example. See, or you can directly run it from there. Let's directly run it. See, main class we had x and y, and we want to print their addition 13, subtraction 7, multiplication 30, division 3, remainder 1. In plus plus z means increment the value by 1, and minus minus z means decrement the value by 1. Here after plus plus 1 the value became 6. So now the value of z is 6. So if you decrease its value by 1, so it will become 5 again. Okay. So that's why it's 5 here. Now if you are dividing, it will give your result as 3. And if you are dividing decimal, it will give you a 3.333. Incrementing, decrementing, I already told you. See, these are some other examples. Assignment is assigning some value. You are using equal to operator for that. Int x equals to 10. If you want to use addition assignment operator, what it will do? X plus equal to 5 means x equals to x plus 5. See, this is interesting. This mean add x equals to x plus, this basically mean x equals to x plus 5. And what was the value of x before? 10. So new value of x will be 10 plus 5, which is equals to 15. So it will print 15 now. See here. Similarly, there will be minus equal to, multiply equal to, all those arithmetic operators appended with this equal to sign. You can see this mean x equals to x plus 3, x equals to x minus 3, and all these things. And this is AND operator, this is OR operator, this is XOR operator, this is right shift, this is left shift. This all you can try yourself. You will have to once go through the theory, because whatever you are learning today, there might be chances you can forget them once you have not practiced it by yourself. I'll suggest you to use any of the online compiler, or in your local system set up the uh, JDK and try to write basic programs yourself, like for these operators if you are beginner. And if you are already into Java, then these are very little things for you. You are already aware of all these things. So now let's move to comparison. Operators are used to compare two values. It is important in programming because it helps us to find answers and make decisions. The return value of a comparison is either true or false. So it will be either true or false. Like x greater than y, either true or false. Yes, it is true because x is 5 and y is 3. It is greater than operator. You can use equal to operator. You can use not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. If age equals to 18, if age, then there is question age greater than equal to 18. So it will be true. Then if age less than 18, it will be false. So all of the comparison operators will return either value true or false. Now logical operator. Logical operator is something you can determine the logic between the variables and values by combining the multiple condition. For example, if it is AND operator, then if both statements will return true, then only the answer will be true. And if any of the one statement is returning true, in OR case, it will return true. And not means if the value is true, make it false. So it will do the opposite of what the things are already there. You can try all these things. See, if you'll click on try, is equals to 5, is x greater than 3, and then x greater than 10. So here it's true because x is 5. Anyway, 5 is greater than 3 and 5 is less than 10. So it will return true. But what if we say x is less than 3 and x is less than 10? Then this condition is false. So it will return false. It's false. Now, these are again the logic check. You can go through them later. Now, precedence. Precedence is something, is the order of operations. Like if you have a expression, So here what you will perform first, multiplication or addition. Anyway, in mathematics, you have already gone through the concept of board mass, so everyone will go through multiplication first. Now, in this case, what you will do? First, you will solve the parenthesis. It will be 5, and then you will multiply it with 4. Why does this happens? Because we solve parenthesis first. If you are sure that your calculation inside parenthesis is completed, then you can make other choices, because first preference priority is parenthesis, then multiplication, division, modulus has same priority, then addition, subtraction has same priority after this, then comparison, then equality, logical and, logical or, and then assignment. Okay, here is other example of expressions you can see. So we can try this. Now here 10 minus 2 plus 5, as plus and addition have same priority. So if there are no parentheses, you can directly solve like 10 minus 2, 8, 8 plus 5, 13. But what if there are parentheses, then you need to solve this plus first. So 10 minus 7, it's 3. Okay. Now Java strings. Strings are used for storing text. A string variable contains a collection of characters surrounded by double quotes. So string, I already told you what string is, how to assign the value. And if you want to find the length, then you can use dot length. I can show you. Here it was string na. Mm, see, Jyoti was string. If you will do name dot length, my name length is. So here you have to keep in mind that don't forget to use parentheses, right? Here they have used in parentheses na. So if you will run this program, see, my name length is 5. So it is used to calculate the length of string, like how many characters are there in a string. Or if you want to convert everything into uppercase, so you'll use two uppercase method. For example, if you want, instead of this, if we'll use name dot to uppercase, it will make everything in caps. JYOTI. If you'll use two lowercase, it will get converted into lowercase. So there are different methods you can say associated with the string. If you want to find the particular position of a particular, like you want to find position, you can use index of. I'll show its usage. Like if there is one sentence, you can use this only. See, mm, it's a text. Okay. And if you want the index of locate, at which position locate is, so it will output us 7th. At 7, please locate the locate occurs. So first time where it is coming. See here, if I'll remove and this, I'll remove this locate, then it will show the location as 13th, because first time where it is coming, this 1 p, then 0, it will start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then 13th. Okay, so L will be 13th. Java counts position from 0, 0 first position in string, then, and if you want a particular character at, like in name Jyoti we were dealing, if we'll see system dot out dot println character at what position, like at second position. Second position, we know the character is JYO 012. So O will be the character at 2 position. Caret cannot find the symbol method caret. So in what we are using caret. So we have to tell that name dot caret. So it will be O. I am showing these mistakes to you because when I was learning, I did all these mistakes and you will also do. I know. And if you are comparing two strings, you can use equals method. Like for example, text1, text2 is same text 3, text 4 are different. So you will see text 1 dot equals text 2. If it is equal, it give you true value, otherwise it will say false. And if you want to remove the white spaces in a sentence, you don't want this space here, you don't want this space here, you will use trim method, txt dot trim, like this. Before it is printing with the spaces and after it is printing without the spaces. Now concatenation you already know that we have done using the plus operator. This you want first name, then some space, and then last name. Then you will use plus operator, concatenating the different words in a sentences. Or you can use concat method to concatenate the strings. For example, you if you will use this, I'll show you this. See, first name, last name. Okay. Now first name dot concat you can use, or you can use plus. Then you want some space. Then you want last name. Then all both of these will give you same output. But here is one extra space because we are already giving space here. If we'll remove this space, then this will come all together and this will come with space. See? Now here you have seen how to if you want to join more than two string, then you can chain this concat A concatenated with B, then B dot concatenate with C. Java is fun will come. Adding numbers using plus operator, Java use it for addition concatenation. We already know. It will sum up these value and give the value. If we are using string, then it will print the way they are. It will not add those values. We have already seen this. Special characters, like if you want, like this will give you error because what the compiler will think that double quotes are starting here and they are ending here. It will think like this. But what if you want that in your sentence you want something in double quotes? Then what you will do? Then you will use backslash escape character for this. Like if you want to insert single quote, then you can use this. Like I can show you here, this line is going to give you error. Like if I'll try to print the text, if you will print this text, it is giving you error because you are using double quotes. But what if you use this, I think backslash, we are using this backslash double quotes like this. See, if you'll use this backslash before this double quotes starting and it's ending, now it will print clearly. See, it has printed in double quotes. Otherwise it will show you the error like the way before. So this is to insert backslash in a string. You can use this double backslash, and if you want to insert new line, then backslash n. For tab backslash t, for backspace tab b, sorry, backslash b, and all those things you can explore and try coding. Now we'll go to math. Math is if you want to find the maximum of two values, you can directly use dot max function. If you want minimum value, dot min function. If you want to do the square root of any value, so you'll do dot sqrt. You can try one of it. Square root of 64. 8 is the answer. What if you want maximum of minimum of two value? For example, if we'll run all this in one only, system dot out dot println, and then see, it will definitely going to give you some error. No, no error because we have used the semicolon in the end. And you can find the max of it also. Max will be 10, so it will give you 10 value. Mm. Now coming back to the booleans. Booleans, I already told you true or false values. Yes, on, off, no. These are all same. Now if else. If these are called conditional things, like if conditions and if statements let you control the flow of your program. It gives you the power of decision making. If you want to decide whether which code will run and which code is skipped, then you use this if statements, or we can say if you use if else, or you use else if, or we say elif, or you use ternary operator or nested if, or you use logical operators for this. To control the flow of your program, you use all these things. So this is the if statement. Like boolean, we are giving it's a true value. If it is raining, print bring an umbrella. If I'll turn this value to false, it won't go here. The flow won't go here because it's not rain. Is if this value is true only, then it will go inside the loop now. Then it won't print anything on the screen and it will directly come back. For example, here it's true, so it's printing the value. If I'll set the value as false, then it won't give you any value. Nothing will get printed on the screen. And you can check it like this. If it is not this, then run this else statement and print double quotes. No. See, if I have turned is raining, no, it's not raining, so it will print value no. Sorry, we have skipped to close our else loop. Hmm. See, it has printed no value, and if it is true, the control will go inside if statement and it will print bring an umbrella. See, bring an umbrella has been printed on the screen. You can use different condition less than equal to, greater than equal to, or equal to, not equal to, and everything you can see. Use if to specify a block of code is executed if a statement is true. And if the statement is not true, it won't print anything on the screen. And you can use else block to specify if the statement that you have used inside the if is not getting satisfied, so it won't go in if loop, it will go in else loop. And else if is used if you want to test multiple conditions, and if for say if your first, second, third, fourth, fifth condition all are false, so if you want multiple conditions to get used, then you use this else if. And switch is used to specify many alternative blocks of code to be executed. So we'll see them one by one. If the condition is true, then the block of code inside if will get executed. Okay, see if 20 greater than 18, so it will get printed. Or you can use it like this way also. So it is example of this if. You can use if without braces if you only have one statement. You need not to specify it in curly braces if you have only one statement, but if you have multiple statements, then you use curly braces. Without that, because this will give us error because there are two statements. Because what it will think that this is the part of if and this is not the part of it. So if the statement is either true or false, it will print this statement if you will not use the braces. So to avoid the mistakes, we usually use curly braces. Now else also I have shown these are very small things and basic things. If these are not clear to you, you can code in Java, I think. If condition inside the if block is false, it will print what is there in else block. So if I already have shown you this, if it's not running, it will printed no. So this is some other examples. Else do not have any condition. It is just the name is suggesting that if statement is false, it will move to else part. Else if is to specify multiple condition, like if this statement will be false, then it will check this another else if block, another condition. Say this is also false, then whatever is there in else it will print. So this is, you can use multiple if else, else sorry, else if inside if and else. So there will be only one if and one else, and inside that you can use multiple if, else if. For example, I can show you this. Let's say mm, int weather equals to 2 or 1 2. We can use one more statement here. First of all, I'll want this to get indentation something for clear understanding. Now see, you can give one more else if weather equal to 3, then you can print system dot out dot println cloudy. Okay. And if all these statements are false, then it will print else. See, currently it is set to 2, so it will print wear sunglasses. Oh, spelling. It's already 12:30 and I am missing even the spellings. Wear sunglasses. And if it is any other value, say 8, so it's is not matching, it will print just go outside normally because it is not satisfying any of the above conditions. So shorthand if else is basically ternary operator. We say that if you want to specify some condition, you don't want to use if else, you can directly use a variable like time equals to condition. It's time less than 18. If true, then print good day, otherwise print good evening. For example, if I'll show the ternary operator of this, it is there already. See, you can use this. If time less than 18, then if it is true, print good day. If it is false, print good evening. So this is ternary operator and this is optional to use. There are more possible outcomes also. So it's like you are using ternary inside ternary, and it becomes sometimes complicated. Nested if I don't prefer because it is not the good practice that you are checking one condition inside and you are checking another condition. But there are some cases when you have to use, so you can, name is itself suggesting that if the condition is true, then it will check the another if condition and will run the code inside these. And what if the condition inside this if block is true and this is false? Then the code between them will get executed, and after this if block, whatever inside this will not get executed, and whatever is there except this will get executed. Now the logical operators we have seen and, or, and not. And will, if both the conditions are true, then only it will give true, otherwise it will give false. If any of the one condition is true, then the or operator will give true, otherwise it will give false. Not will negate the value, like a greater than b, not a should be less and a is less, so it will print this statement. Now switch is, instead of writing many if else, there is one you can say later add on, that is switch statement. Like if you want to order something, like if you want to order in a restaurant, you choose number 1, you get pizza, number 2 burger, number 3 pasta. Now I am getting hungry, so you have to use switch statement. Here in switch you will tell what is your expression. If you're Case 1 will bring pizza, case 2 will bring burger, and case 3 will bring pasta. See, now here is another example. Int day equals to 4. If day equals to 4, then it will jump to case 4. It will skip all these things and it will print Thursday. And what if, and every time we are using this break keyword. What is this break keyword in every case we are using? For example, here it came. In case 1 did not match, so it went to case 2 did not match. But anyway, in case 4 it matched. So it has printed Thursday. Now it will break and it will jump out of this loop switch. It will come out of the switch. It won't check any other statement because anyway it has found its output. So that is the importance of break keyword. Once Java reaches break keyword, it breaks out the switch block and it saves a lot of execution time. Now while loops can execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. There are different kind of loops: while loop, do while loop, and for loop. Three loops are there. So what is while loop? While loop repeats block of code as long as the specified condition is true. While the condition will be true, everything inside this will get executed. For example, till I less than 5, it will print the value of I and it will increment it. Then it will again go to while loop. For example, if I run this, what it is gonna do is first the control will be I value will be 0. So it will print 0. Then it will get incremented to 1. Then 1 less than 5, yes. So it will again go inside it. So it will print till 4. But when it reaches 4, it will uh, print 4. Then value got incremented to 5. It will check whether 5 is less than 5. No. Then it will come out of the loop and stop printing. So this was all about while loop, and do while loop is something it will it is similar to while loop, but it at least prints one line because here we specify the condition later. First we do one task. Like anything written inside this block, we'll first do it, then we'll check the condition. So anyway, any situation, if you want something to get executed at least once, then you use do while loop. But it is not good practice to use do while loop, but in some cases you might need to use, and this is the similar example. You can see. I can run it directly. See, int I equals to 0. First it printed that 0, then it incremented that value to 1, but till now it has not printed. It will check whether 1 less than 5, yes. Then it will come to do again and it will print 1. Then it will increment to 2. Then it will check 2 less than 5. Yes, 2 is less than 5. Then it will print 2. Then it will increment its value to 3 and same it goes on. So now next is for loop. For loop is used so much because if you know how many times you want to loop through a particular block of code, then you use for loop, and in for loop you will first tell your statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. Statement 1 is executed one time before the execution of the code block, and in statement 2 we defines our condition, and statement 3 is used to be like used basically for incrementing or decrementing the value. For example, for loop int I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, what it will do? It will print value from 0 to 4. If I equals to 0 है और जब तक I लेस देन 5 रहेगा तब तक ये वैल्यू इंक्रीमेंट करके प्रिंट करता रहेगा. पहले इसने 0 प्रिंट किया, फिर इंक्रीमेंट करके 1 2 3 4. जब ये I 5 रीच हो गया तब ये स्टेटमेंट लूप स्टॉप हो जाएगा क्योंकि इनका एग्जीक्यूशन स्टॉप हो जाएगा. इसकी कंडीशन है कि I लेस देन 5 होना चाहिए. इवन नंबर प्रिंट करने हैं तो हम इंक्रीमेंट I इक्वल्स टू I+2 दे देंगे. इस तरीके से हम I इक्वल्स टू I+2 करके ऑड नंबर भी प्रिंट कर सकते हैं. There are different ways. You have to go through all these situations. And one more loop is there, for each loop. For each loop is used to loop through elements in an array. I'll tell you in detail about this when we'll study array. So tomorrow we'll continue with array topic because it is very vast. But before that, we'll see this break and continue. Break we have already seen in switch statement. So here also, if you want to come out of any situation and jump out of something, jump out of loop, then you use break. And if you want to break any one iteration, then you use continue. Like if your I becomes 4, then continue means at the particular time when I is 4, skip that value and print all other values. See, this continues means at 4, whenever 4 will come, it will skip that value. So break and continue are very, I'll say, useful, and many of the interviewers might ask what is the uses of break and continue, why we use them. So be prepared with these questions. If I equals to 2, will continue means it will skip this, but when I equals to 4, it will come out of loop. It won't print value 5 or 5. It printed till 3, and when the 4 value is reached, it won't check if it is less than 6 or not. 5 is even less than 6, but it won't get printed because once it reached value 4, it came out of this loop. So for today, it's done. So we'll continue tomorrow or day after tomorrow regarding arrays topic and this methods, recursion and all, because they might need some good attention, and that video is already so long. It's already 12:40 midnight. So good night, bye bye, enjoy. And one last thing, if you like and if you feel like it's informative for you and you got to learn something, or if you feel like I should improve something, I should create PPT, or I should do something practically, or like if you have any suggestions, like it's my beginning, so you can suggest me. I can work upon that. And if you need topic on any other video, you can also tell that to me in comment section. Make sure to like if you like it. And if you don't like it, so you can dislike it also, because anyway, you have to give your honest suggestion. Thanks. Bye.